Gentlemen, welcome to Morning Coffee Talks. All right, this morning we're going to talk real quick about the absent father, or the father wound as we call it. All right, so I'll read some stuff from my notes here, right? A grief close to the surface for men these days is the ache of the void of the absent father. So what does that mean, right? Many of us, right, these days are lost, right? Our fathers, right, because of the world of work, divorce, desertion, just not even wanting to be a father, right? So even if someone were physically present, a lot of us, and I've been there myself, even as a father, aren't emotionally present, right? A lot of it has to do with purpose and not being okay with who we are, where we're at in our lives, right? So this says right here, all my life I have suffered from uncertainties about masculinity. I think it is because my father never shared himself with me. He didn't tell me what kind of problems that he wrestled with, what he felt, what he thought what it meant to be, what it is to be a man. I had to make it up all by myself, and I was never sure if I got it right. So think about that, gentlemen. All right, so that's what we need to do with our sons, right? If you have sons, I have two sons myself, is we need to teach them, and we need to tell them about the things we've wrestled with in our lives, our shortcomings, our faults, our defects, our sins, our struggles, right? We got to show them so they're not alone. All right? What we feel about things, about the world, about good and evil, about doing for others, all these things we have to teach them, gentlemen, not only by what we say, but what we do. All right? We got to teach our sons what it means to be a man. We literally need to tell them a man is a leader, protector, and a provider. A man is a servant, right? For his family and for his community. It's about being selfless. It's about giving up yourself, right? Protecting the vulnerable, the weak, and the innocent. All these things we talk about on here. But we all have, what it comes down to, gentlemen, I know for myself, and I'm sure most of you are like that too, is I've always wanted to please my father. I've always wanted my father to be proud of me, right? My father on earth, and not only that, my father in heaven, God, right? That's why we're doing this all, to please God, to do God's will, to do the Father's will. To one day, right? I want my father down here on earth, right? I want him to be proud of me, and I also want God to be proud of me, man. I want to get up there one day and say, welcome, my son, my good and faithful servant. That's what this is all about, gentlemen. But we all have these wounds, and we need to talk about this grief work and what we've been through and our struggles. We need to share this with other men. That's how we help others, by sharing our story, right? This is what it was like. This is what it was. This is how it was. This is what happened. And this is what I'm like now, right? So let's see here. What do we got here? So it's all about communicating, man. We got to open up. We got to share. We got to talk, right? It's uncomfortable to talk about stuff. That's the stuff we need to talk about, gentlemen. The hard stuff. We have to share, right? So think to yourself, I've been an absent father myself, right? There physically, but spiritually not there, emotionally not there, right? Struggling because I couldn't stand myself, couldn't stand who I was. Right? I've always had a great family, great people in my life, right? But it was me. It's always been about me, right? I am me, and that's the problem. I was always focused on myself so much, not focused on doing for others. But first, we got to get through this grief work. We got to get through these traumas, right? The sins of the father, like I say, the generational curses. All right? Because none of our parents are perfect. None of our fathers are perfect. I'm a father. I'm damn sure not perfect. But we're trying to be better every day, right? So we can mold the next generation of young men. That's what this is all about. So I want you guys to think about that this morning, man. Ask yourself these things. All right? Are you being present mentally, physically, spiritually? Are you being the spiritual leader of your family? We got to be men of faith, gentlemen. This is where it starts at. This is how we change everything. This is how we change the world, by number one, changing ourselves. By changing ourselves, that's going to, what, in turn, change people around us. Right? Like we always talk about the ripple effect. Everything we do, good or bad, there's consequences, right? It can hurt and affect people, or we can bring people up. That's the goal, right? So just a little food for thought this morning, gentlemen. So let's get up, get after it. And as always, go get you some, baby. Ah!